Hello friends, welcome to the Global Pulse. In the latest developments in the Middle East, Israeli PM Netanyahu is extremely frustrated over lack of weapons and has shown defiance to U.S. President Biden. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has expressed his frustration with the Biden administration over the delay in receiving American weapons. Netanyahu has accused the Biden administration of stalling the delivery of weapons. Under the pretext of eliminating Hamas, the Israeli military has so far killed over 38,000 Palestinians. In the midst of the intense war in Gaza, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is upset with U.S. President Joe Biden. He has accused the Biden administration of being reluctant to provide weapons. While Netanyahu praised the United States as Israel's closest friend and thanked it for its support in the war, he also expressed his surprise and disappointment that the Biden administration has been delaying the delivery of weapons for the past few months. Since October 7, Israeli attacks on Gaza have been ongoing. Under the pretext of eliminating Hamas, the Israeli military has killed over 38,000 Palestinians so far, and this continues. The majority of the casualties are women and children. In light of this situation, the Biden administration expressed concern and since May, has started delaying the supply of weapons, which has displeased Netanyahu. Meanwhile, numerous efforts have been made to establish a ceasefire, but they have not been successful. Despite this, leaders from the United States, Egypt and Qatar are continuously striving for a resolution. On the other hand, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains adamant. Despite widespread opposition within his own country, he is not willing to agree to a ceasefire. He insists on continuing the war until Hamas is eliminated. Meanwhile, Hamas is seeking a ceasefire on its own terms. In the latest Israeli attack on Gaza, 6 people residing in the Nuseirat refugee camp were killed. The sudden strikes caused chaos among the camp's residents, who scrambled to search for those trapped under the rubble. Unfortunately, all 6 individuals died on the spot. According to eyewitnesses present during the attack, a loud explosion occurred, bringing down several buildings and causing widespread destruction. The atmosphere in Gaza remains one of terror and panic following these events. Earlier, Israel conducted airstrikes on Rafah and Gaza, targeting several Hamas bases. It claimed that many terrorists were killed in these attacks. Additionally, a video was released, showing Israeli soldiers operating deep within Gaza. Due to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, a curfew has been imposed on attacks from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Despite this, 17 Palestinians were killed in Israeli airstrikes. The war has disrupted the flow of food, medicine, and other supplies to Palestinians facing starvation in Gaza. As a result, in addition to those killed in the attacks, many are also falling victim to disease and hunger. This situation has sparked protests against Israel beyond Gaza. Thousands of protesters in Israel's capital, Jerusalem, have chanted slogans against Prime Minister Netanyahu's policies. Protesters have called for immediate elections and the swift release of Israelis held hostage in Gaza. A subsequent violent clash left 1 person injured and led to the arrest of 9 individuals. The angry demonstrators also caused significant unrest near Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence in Jerusalem. In response, police officers present at the scene quickly erected barricades in an attempt to contain the protesters. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved his 6-member war cabinet. The war cabinet was formed on October 11, 2023, following Hamas's attack on October 7. This cabinet was responsible for making crucial security decisions for Israel during the war. Upon dissolving the cabinet, Netanyahu stated that they had made several decisions with which the military disagreed. There had been ongoing disagreements within the war cabinet for some time. As a result, Defense Minister Benny Gantz also resigned from the cabinet. He cited Netanyahu's efforts to negotiate the release of prisoners in Gaza as misguided. The conflict over the ceasefire in Gaza and the release of prisoners had led to open disagreements among Israeli ministers, including the finance minister. Meanwhile, Israeli citizens continued to protest against Netanyahu, demanding the dissolution of the war cabinet. Thank you very much for watching. Always be with us for the latest news and updates. Goodbye and see you soon.